Hey everybody, it's Valerie with J&S Hobbies and Crafts, and today I've got a special project. We're going to be doing a canvas wrapped silhouette box using the Graphic 45 Midnight Masquerade paper. And Graphic 45 does some really wonderful graphics on their paper. The colors are beautiful, the purples and the oranges and all the bright colors, a little bit of fuchsia going on. And I'm going to be adding a lot of gold trim and bling to this paper. So hopefully when we're done with this piece, I'll actually get a chance to make a card, and I'm even thinking about sneaking in a little dress for you guys. So as you can see, this paper has a lot of pattern, a lot of color, a lot of bright, some beautiful masks, which we are going to take complete advantage of, as well as some of the patterns as you can see here. So I chose to start off with two 8 by 8 inch canvas wraps, and they're approximately an inch thick. So if you want to do smaller or bigger, that's quite up to you, of course, but you definitely need at least an inch thickness. And then I grabbed the purple paper, which I'm going to wrap my canvas with, as you can see. So you flip your canvas over and wrap it over. And since they're 12 by 12s, I ended up having to do just a small demo here for you to see how they wrap. I even cut the corners in and everything. So put on your scoreboard, if you have one, and set your first score for 2 inches and do that all the way around, all 4 sides. And your second score is going to be at 1 1/4 inches. There it is, 1 1/4. So you're going to do 1 1/4 all the way around as well. Now I didn't show you how I cut it when I was done, but I basically cut at the 2 inch mark up to where they meet, where the scores meet on all 4 corners. So before I added my paper, I took some color box ink, the color of my paper, and I cleaned up the corners. That way when I wrapped the paper, the corners showed through, the white corners showed through. I didn't want that, so I just purpled them in. And there's my finished wrap, as you can see. All cut in the corners, so you can wrap it right up and it kind of looks like a package. And again, the white doesn't show through on those edges. And if you have a different way to wrap it that you can think of, by all means, feel free. So I'm going to go ahead and add my paper. Oh, before I add my paper, I'm sorry, I'm going to clean up the edges of those white edges there, as you can see with my pigment again. I do this quite frequently, so you should be used to it by now. Here's my paper. I'm going to use some score tape. I'm going to put it along all 4 sides and then score tape it all together. You could obviously use thicker score tape, but I just happen to have the 1/4 inch available at my desk at this time. You could probably use 1/2 inch or even inch. Once you get all your score tape on, you just wrap it over, finish off the edges, cut them in if you'd like, and as you can see, you can't see any of the white canvas through. And so we are going to be doing a shadow box. And by the way, if you want to use some of these little border trims to finish off the edges of your frame, you're welcome to, but I'm going to do mine a little bit differently, but I just wanted to show you that there are different options. Me and my fussy cuts, I fussy cut out this beautiful piece of graphics out of here, and I'm not going to attach it just yet because I don't want to ruin it while I'm working on the inside. So I took my pigments and decided that I needed to kind of paint up the inside edges here because I didn't like the way they showed. And once again, you guys are more than welcome to use some of the paper to cover that up, but I just went ahead and used that. And then these cute little stackable daubers that are kind of triangle shaped are absolutely perfect to get into those edges that you need to get into the corners of the edges. You'll see in just a second. I'm going to have to pull my dauber out here and put it in the ink. And then right in those corners right there, you can use these perfect little daubers to get those corners. Now, of course, the background's missing a big old spot, but I actually used the back of the paper that I fussy cut that lady out of to fill in the back of this. I'm really good at keeping my scraps and using them for everything. I'm going to use some dots, which are little 3-dimensional dots, as you can see, and they're adhesive back on both sides. I'm going to put them on the piece that's going to go inside of that shadow box area, so it kind of pokes up a little bit like it's 3D. And there you can see I covered up that spot that was missing. And then I decided that I was going to use my Martha Stewart Arbor loop and make a frame to go around the outside of the shadow box area. And you can see I cut that. And then I'm going to frame it all the way around. So first, obviously, I have to measure how big I need those pieces to be. And I decided to use the same paper that I used for the inside to use for the frame as well. I think it's going to look really nice. So get those cut up. And where I'm going to place my die cut here, excuse me, my fussy cut piece, I don't need to put the frame all the way behind it. So if you see little gaps in my work, it's because I'm going to glue something over the top of it. Get the pieces all put together. And then I found this washi tape by Heidi Swapp that had a gold piece in it that I fell in love with. So I decided to use that to trim out around the frame of the canvas here. So here you can see me attaching my Heidi Swapp washi tape. And again, I am not going to attach this little fussy cut piece right away because I don't want to bend it up while I'm working on the interior of my shadow boxes. And I'm going to add a little bling. Now this bling comes in a row of 4, and I'm going to actually cut it up into single rows. And once again, add it along the edge of my gold washi tape, because apparently you can't have too much bling when it comes to Mardi Gras and Midnight Masquerade parties. Use a little art glitter glue to attach my bling. And once I get it all put around, then we'll be done with that part. And I'm going to use a little stickles and glitter up the edges of those little paper punches that I made earlier. Apparently, like I said, I like to bling things up quite a bit. And there you go. On the second half, I decided to go with the orange because I really liked the color, and did the same thing that I did with the other one, used the washi tape and everything else. Now I made a beautiful mask, and actually I have a reason for making this mask because it's going to fit the Heartfelt Creations Fleur Border Classics perfectly along the edges, and when I get done cutting it all out and cutting the eyes out, I'll show you. So here's the Fleur Border Basics, and we're going to use both sets. The top set we're going to cut it out of black paper, and it's actually Coordinations black cardstock, and I'm using my excuse me, my Spellbinders tool set to clean it out. I love this thing. It's amazing. And you need to get one of these. If you don't have a tool in one, you need to get one right away. So once again, there's the smaller Fleur border. I did 2, and then I did 2 of the larger Fleur border, and these are going to frame that mask that I designed, and I will have the pattern available for you on our blog. So as you can see, it fits perfectly. And at some point, I'm actually going to cut right above the bridge of the nose on the mask. And I'm going to cut just slightly off to the right. And then I have the other Fleur border that goes the other direction. And I'll overlap it just about 1/4 of an inch in the center there so that they mesh together. So first you just got to, and you know, you have a way that you can cut these with the actual little singular border. But since this is just going to go behind my mask, I'm really not going to take the time to die cut it out. I'm just going to use my scissors and then glue it onto the back. If you can hear noise in the background, it's because I'm in the office and the boys are back there drilling and working on another project for us. So here you can see it matches all along, making a beautiful border. Absolutely love this die. We take the other one, and there you can see I got the top part done. Now the bottom part is a smaller die, very lacy looking, almost like a doily. And by the way, everything I cut off I use, so if you see me cutting off pieces later on, you're going to see me reuse them on different parts of the mask. So I'm kind of one of those kind of people that uses all my recycle parts. I started to put the smaller pieces that I cut off of this bottom Fleur decorative border and put it along the edges, as you can see, but I ended up cutting 2 more complete long ones, and I broke them up and I ran them all along the whole entire bottom of the mask. So you can see here that I did that. Now I found something out that I think is really cool. I used our flat back white pearls and our glitter, our Stickles glitter, gold, and a couple of Sharpies. And I created my own style of kind of like Mardi Gras beads that I'm going to trim this mask with. I'm really impressed at how these turned out, so hopefully you'll get a chance to try it. It really works well. And then I also am going to include some cute little kind of feather-like shapes that you can cut out. And I used a black back, which is just a little bit bigger. and attached them. And then I actually kind of glittered those up later on too. But I decided to use that same gold washi tape that we used earlier for the borders of the silhouettes that we did, and used them along the edges of these kind of faux feathers. And I'm going to use some of these leftover pieces as well. So there's my Mardi Gras mask. And now we're going to move on to using some Heartfelt Creations berry blossom flowers. And first of all, I stamp them in advance, and then I colorize them in with my color pigments, a Memento and Color Box pigments here. Color in those flowers before I actually die cut them out, because it just makes it easier. And then put them through the die cutter, pop them out. And I probably did about 15-20 of those little flowers. Then I'm going to use my shaping tool, my flower shaping essentials from Heartfelt Creations, and shape up the flowers a little bit. It's really easy to shape these flowers, but sometimes if you add a little water, it actually makes them look a little more natural. These are so tiny though that I chose not to do it this time. Now I'm going to add a little bit of prills, and this is called Go Mango, and I liked them because they were orange and they matched the orange paper. And I started to decorate some of my fussy cut pieces. Since there were flowers on their dresses, I thought it'd be cute to kind of make them 3D. I also used little pieces of bling here and there to look like they had jewelry. Here's my larger piece that I showed you earlier, and she does have a little bling necklace as well. I took our 1/4 inch Doris bling gems and added them to the corners of each of the boxes. More flowers. And I made these cute little fans. They're about 8 inches long, about 2.5 inches wide. And I just scored them and fanned them. I found a couple of Doris Petaloo flowers, and added one to the mask. And then later on you'll see one on the other side of the finished canvas piece. So here it is with some fussy cut masks in the corners. Those little 3D fans that stick out with little additional flowers on them. And if you look real carefully, you can see that I blinged up a lot of the girls with necklaces and rings and 3D flowers all along the edges. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It was a lot of fun making it. I've been making dresses so much lately that I thought I needed to try something new. So look forward to a beautiful Midnight Masquerade card that's going to be coming next. And I've got a huge surprise for you on that one. I hope you all enjoyed our tutorial today. Have a great day and happy crafting, everybody.